Good afternoon. UKIP has emerged as the biggest party in the European elections, gaining 3 of the 7 seats being contested here in the West Midlands. The Conservatives lost 1 seat, ending the night on 2. Labour gained a seat and now have 2 MEPs in the region, but it was a miserable night for the Liberal Democrats, who lost their only MEP. Kath Mackey has the details.
As the piles of ballot papers rose, so too did the confidence of one party in particular.
Very, very happy, ecstatic.
Confident?
Very confident, yeah. Got a smile from ear to ear.
But for others, it was a painful night at Birmingham's International Convention Centre.
I'm certainly not feeling confident, but we've fought a very, very hard campaign.
It wasn't enough. The Liberal Democrats left empty-handed as UKIP won 3 seats, coming top in 20 of the West Midlands' 30 local authorities.
We will not be swayed by money, political posturing, faceless committees and quangos. Only desire is to be made redundant by getting our country back.
She was heckled loudly by both Conservative and Labour activists, who came away with 2 seats each.
We're happy to double the number of our MEPs in the West Midlands. So it's a good result. Of course we would want it to be first.
An interesting figure is if you look at the BNP vote last time, 100,000 votes they lost this time. Those 100,000 went to UKIP. That saddens me greatly.
2 former UKIP MEPs who stood on their own independent anti-EU tickets failed to convince the voters.
Is your political career over, do you think, or are you planning on coming back?
It's obviously too early to say. I'm 46 years old, and you know, if the second half of my life is half as eventful as the first half, I've got a hell of a lot to look forward to.
More than 4 million people are eligible to vote in the West Midlands, but turnout was low.
Just over 33% of people turned out to vote. The political and media obsession with Europe isn't one that's shared, it seems, by the electorate.
But nothing dampened the celebrations, with UKIP describing their victory as a turning point in British political history. Kath Mackey, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
Well, our political editor Patrick Burns joins us now. So, Patrick, UKIP say this is a turning point. Are they right?
It could be, but we won't really know until a year's time after the general election, because remember, last time UKIP polled well enough to get 2 seats in the European Parliament, but then 12 months later their share of the vote in the general election shrank back to just 4%. This time, however, it does feel different. It's 3 seats rather than 2. And when I was talking the other day to a senior Midlands politician, he said that when he was out on the campaign trail, he found a lot of people who said that they were pro-Europe, but they were going to vote UKIP because they're fed up with machine politics.
And where does last night leave our 3 main parties?
Well, Labour polled very strongly in the big population centres in Birmingham, Coventry and Wolverhampton. The Conservatives weren't as far behind Labour's share of the vote as some had suggested they might be. So I think the 2 biggest parties will certainly feel there's something there to work on for the general election in a year's time. But for the Liberal Democrats, well, there's no disguising how serious this is. John Hemming, the Birmingham Yardley MP, is taking soundings among his local activists over what they think the future should be of their party leader, Nick Clegg.
And at a local council level, Patrick, news this morning of yet another challenge to Sir Albert Bore's leadership of Birmingham City Council.
Labour Party rules enable a leadership challenge every year. And now 2 senior city councillors, John Clancy, he's challenging for the leadership, Barry Henley for the deputy leadership, and they say that the city is facing very severe challenges, child protection, the so-called the issue of the fair pay dispute, which has cost the city council dear, and they say that after 15 years it's time to refresh the leadership at the top and with a new 15-year plan for the way ahead in the city.
Patrick Burns, thank you. Moving on now.